Welcome to Business Class. I'm Steve Ekstrom from Learn Tourism, a nonprofit academy dedicated to advancing the tourism industry through innovative training and sustainable practices. Our mission? To empower travel professionals and communities with the knowledge they need to create meaningful, authentic, and sustainable tourism experiences. Ready to join us on this journey? Visit learntourism.org and start making a difference today.
Jennifer Vigil. I am the president and CEO of Destination Panama City. I live in Panama City, Florida, originally from New York, but I've been here 30 years.
It's home.
Chosen home.
What's on your sweatshirt?
It's our state park.
Oh, that's
Park.
adorable. Did you do that just for me?
I walk my dog through the state park 3 or 4 times a week. I buy him a bottle of water and a cheese stick, and that's his snack while we're walking. And when I went in, I was cold. They have this t-shirt or sweatshirt. He thinks we're
So-
leaving. He's sitting here now.
What's his name?
Billy Smalls.
So he's cute.
Adorable.
I have little Miss Marjorie. She's staring out the window. Marjorie's about 8 pounds. She's a Chihuahua I rescued in Mexico 2 years ago. My other dog is an 80-pound American Staffy.
I used to have a big dog. I've only ever had big dogs. I went day drinking at a local tiki bar and 2 sangrias, and a lady came in with a wagon of puppies, said, if people don't take them, they go to the pound on Monday. Jennifer is weak. So now I've had him for 6.5 years. My big dog was like 100 pounds. I was like a gentle giant, but he passed away 2 years ago. So now Billy just goes with me because he doesn't know how to be alone.
The big dog cows down to the little girl.
Yeah.
He'll share his food with her. She stands on him to look out the window.
Yep.
If he goes near her food when she's eating, she gives him a growl. He turns around and walks away. He's really sweet with her. I'm a digital nomad, so I'm in an RV.
I have to tell you, the state park's right down the street from my office. All of my friends have RVs, and I can't barely drive a car, so I can't have an RV or anything. But a couple of times I rented from RV share. And so people that own RVs go and they set up their RV so that I can just show up the state park down the street. Even though we live right outside the gate, we have friend staycations and they bring their RVs in and we just pretend that we don't live here and camp for a weekend or a week. When the state park got hit by the hurricane and wiped things out, when it came back, they built yurts. I get to go glamp. I don't have to rent. It's $200 a night or whatever. But me and Billy get to stay in the yard. And
I did 3.5 years traveling all over North America in a 21-foot van. It was an awesome experience. This is 41 feet. It's a diesel motor coach. I have a dishwasher, a fireplace.
Yeah. So my friends all have Taj Mahal or they have recliners that go all the way back.
Yeah. I tell folks, I'm not outdoorsy, but even though I'm a nomad and traveling all the time, I'm more like outside adjacent.
Yeah. I want to be there.
So when other people are starting up their campfires and roasting marshmallows, I'm on high-speed internet watching Netflix.
Yeah.
What's cool is you get to meet so many people from all over.
Yes.
I work with probably 60 different destinations. And anytime something seems interesting or I see something online that looks cool, I just put a pin in a map and play a big game of connect the dots. My 14-year-old niece is with me full time, doing a hybrid online curriculum. She's got her online school during the day, and then the weekend or Fridays we'll go and let's learn about aquifers and we'll go swimming with the manatees and check out the springs.
That's so interesting.
So how did you get started in this business?
Having been in it so long and talked to so many people, I don't think that there's one straight path that any of the CEOs have. A lot of the marketing people are like, I always want to do marketing. I thought that I wanted to be a city or county manager. My undergraduate was in computer science programming. So I got that degree, started out in IT, and then through a not good experience, the city manager didn't think anybody under 30 could be a director. And I was only 25, but I was the only IT department they had. So she made IT fall under finance. I didn't know anything about finance. My finance director left in a scandal. The city manager said, "You're next in line in the finance. So you're the interim finance director. You need to produce the comprehensive annual financial review that's due in 30 days." Hmm.
Good luck.
I went to Best Buy, bought accounting for dummies and like government accounting bugs. And I had to teach myself accounting in like a week so that I could get through this audit and talk to the auditors like I wasn't an idiot. And then I was like, man, I'm going to go and get my master's degree. Governance is really not that hard. I went back to the city manager and filled out paperwork for tuition reimbursement. I was a single mom and I had two little girls. I was like, no way can I afford a master's degree, but this place has tuition reimbursement. And that same city manager was like, oh no, tuition reimbursement is only for directors and above if it's graduate reimbursement. And I was like, I've been interim director for 8 months. And she is, like, yeah, interim. And I was playing volleyball on a local rec beach league. One of the gentlemen that played on the same rec league worked at the county. And one day he said, that lady's never going to let you get a degree she doesn't have. She's only got a bachelor's in accounting. She's not going to let you go past her. I have a program that's broken the county. If you fix it, I'll pay for your master's degree. So when he said program, I thought he meant computer program. So I was like,
Mhm.
I quit my job and I went to the county to be a special capital projects manager. The first program was a civil engineering program. And I was like, I'm a computer engineer, not a civil engineer. I don't know anything about roads and structural numbers, but you can talk to people and you're nice and you still talk nerd to the licensed PEs, understand their projects enough that you can go out and explain it to the public. And you, by the way, have to sell it to them. And I was like, sell it. They have to pay for half. And I was like, what? I just quit my good job. He's like, don't worry, you can do it. It was the most fun job I've ever had in my entire life. I got to build the two piers that are in Panama City Beach. I got to build roads, the new government complex. I got to do so many different things. They paid for my master's degree. I became a city clerk, the worst city commission. My dad was in hospice, and I was like, I work with miserable people, and my dad is dying, and he's the happiest person I see all year. I'm quitting. City clerk was one step away from what I thought I wanted to be. And I was like, nope, I'm done. I don't want to work like this. I quit, hung out with my dad, and my dad's like, what are you going to do? And I was like, freelance stuff. So I did some freelance work for the city of Destin, and one of the elected officials there just became a great friend. He's an engineer from West Point and super smart guy. And he's eventually, you're going to have to go back to work. Your dad's passed and, you know, you're going to have to do something. He goes, you're going to have to rejoin society. At some point, 6 months later, he called and said, I'd like for you to work for me. But Destin is like an hour and a half. I'm not driving that far. I make plenty of money doing this. No, you're not going to drive that far. I just got appointed as the executive director for South Walton Tourism. I want you to be the number 2 person there. I know nothing about tourism. And he's more than you think. Back in the day, it was create a billboard, put it in a magazine, on a TV. Now it's very much data science and analysis. And you're the best analyst you know. I want you to make sure we're doing the right things. And it's tax dollars, and you already know how they're supposed to be spent. So took a chance, went and worked for him. Greatest thing ever. I loved it. The board there was being mean to him. At the same time, Panama City, where I lived, was creating their first ever destination marketing organization. And they called and said, why do you work for South Walton? And I said, they pay me if a job, but we're going to have a DMO. You should apply to be our CEO. You would get to start a DMO from the ground up. And I was like, I'll never get to do that in my life. Like, I might get other jobs at other DMOs, but never am I going to have a chance to build one from nothing. So I said, yeah, that's a chance. I'll do that. I came over 10 years ago and showed up on my first day and I'm like, where do I go? And they're like, we don't know. I didn't have a phone number. I didn't have an office. I didn't have a name. I had an attorney. That was it.
So what's been your greatest day on the job?
The day this office opened. Before we were here, we were in a historic building in Panama City. 3 years into the job, things are going great. We have a brand, we're marketing, and then we got hit by a Category 5 hurricane, and it like decimated the entire area. And everyone was like, you need to go somewhere else. And I'm like, no, I'm staying. They're going to rebuild. I had to figure out where we ended up in a construction trailer for years. I was saving money. Everything around us was starting to come back to life. Trees were regrowing. I had 3 parcels of property picked out. And I was like, okay. So I brought one of the people that worked for me out and I was like, can you picture it? This is where it's going to be. And I'll tell you, this was overrun with homeless people, like this area of town. And she's like, I can't picture it. I don't want to picture it. I'm like, no, listen, it's going to be great. You just have to trust me. And then fast forward, we paid for this building in cash. We had saved enough money being in the trailer and having a 2-person team for years that we were able to afford to completely pay for this beautiful building on the water that I'm in. And the first day here, that same lady was sitting at her desk and she was crying. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. Why are you crying? And she's like, I remember the day that we stood out there and you're like, but can you see it? And I was like, no. And she's, but you could see it. And now I'm sitting at a desk that you could see. And she's, I'm just so happy that you make things happen. So that was the best day when we came in here and it was paid for. We don't know any bills.
Awesome.
That it's amazing. It's a beautiful place. Years have gone by. A gorgeous waterfront hotel is out there. A restaurant bar open next door. Another restaurant open down the street. Downtown Panama was not a place that you wanted to walk around. Today, it is popping every night of the week. You can't find parking. It's the coolest place to make it.
Did you grow up there?
I grew up in New York and I came here for vacation. I met my future ex-husband on that vacation and we ended up running into each other 6 months later in New York, got married, moved back here, had kids, got divorced here. We had a handshake agreement that we would both stay here until our kids were grown. And I'm never leaving. I like it here. It's great.
We can tell a lot about ourselves and what we see in our children. How do you think your kids are most like you?
My oldest daughter is hilarious, unbothered by trivial things, very quick-witted. My youngest daughter followed in tourism. She stayed locally, went to Gulf Coast State College, got her master's in communication from FSU Panama City, and is now the communications manager at Visit Panama City Beach. So
Nice.
DMO right down the road.
What do you think is the biggest misconception people have about your destination?
That we're Panama City Beach. I mean, we're right next to each other. I live on Panama City Beach. It takes me 18 minutes to get to work. It's an entirely different vibe. Panama City Beach is definitely beach vibe. It's the real fun beach. It's everything wonderful about the beach. Panama City is more the thinking man's game. Boating, walkable historic districts, symphony, music association, art galleries, more intellectual and cultural on this side of the bridge.
When you think about what inspires you, what comes to mind? Before we dive back in, a quick word from our sponsor, Learn Tourism, the nonprofit academy, where we're dedicated to transforming the tourism industry with four key services: our cutting edge learning experience platform, which offers robust analytics and seamless updates, our custom course development, which ensures tailored learning solutions, subject matter experts who provide deep insights and valuable knowledge, and of course, our engaging speakers who are here to inspire and educate with impactful presentations. Discover how we can elevate your tourism education at learntourism.org.
My dad passed away 12 years ago. There's no way I will let anything happen that makes them not be proud that I am their daughter or their mother.
I like what you said about him being the happiest person you knew.
He had a couple of roles in life. My dad was in his 50s when I was born and never had other kids. He went and got a book. And my mom, they were divorced, and she's around still, but he was very much the major parent. The first rule was you're responsible for your response. As a teenager, especially like a teenage girl, you're going to have a teenage girl that's, oh, so and so said this. So I said that. And then I did this and they did that. Teenage girl life. My dad in junior high would make me tell him the story of only my half. He'd be like, I want to hear the story, but only what you did or said. Like, you have to hear both sides because it's the only way you'll understand why I did what I did or why I said what I said. And he's, no, I was only responsible for raising you. So my only responsibility is how you responded. You're responsible for your response. It doesn't matter what that other person said. When you have a fight and only hear your side, you realize how ridiculous you are. And then you just don't engage like that anymore. It stops because you're not allowed to adopt anybody else's character flaws. Cling to humility and grace. Stuff's going to go wrong. You just have to focus on what matters and just press ahead. So,
One of the big lessons is recognize the things you can change and the things you can't.
yep.
Focus on the choices you can make.
He used to tell me, you have to recognize truth is perception. You can't change somebody else's truth. So you just have to accept that if that's what they want to believe, that's what they want to believe. You have to either love them, tolerate them, or work with them regardless.
Yeah. And that's an important lesson when you think about working with people in government and having to work with different civil leaders or uncivil leaders.
Yeah.
Everybody has their different perspective. You mentioned earlier your job at one point was to sell the project
Yeah.
to the people who are going to be paying for it. When you sell the destination now as a tourist destination, what do you think closes the deal?
For Panama City, especially when the hurricane happened, we lost every major amenity. We didn't have the marinas. We didn't have the Marina Civic Center. We don't have the Martin Theater. And it was actually placemaking and storytelling. I feel like are at the perfect place and time for this to happen because as generations have changed, if your friends are going, you're going. And now in the realm of social media, it's much easier to convince people to go someplace that their friends have never been so that they're the first ones there and they have the Instagram reel and they're the cool person that found the new thing. And so it's really playing into people being our new guest to the new Panama City that has resurrected itself after a natural disaster. And that's actually fun because you get to tell people, oh, you haven't been there yet, but you'll get there. And then they want to
What's something you hope to accomplish in the next 5 years?
I would like to see the city continue to grow through some of the capital projects we still have. I don't think Panama City will look the same 5 years from now. I hope it retains the coastal culture and the charm it has. I always say we're multi-coastal because I can see the pass to the Gulf of Mexico, but there's water around my building. So we're on the bay, but I can see the Gulf right there. As much as I know it's going to grow, I hope it doesn't lose the true character of what makes it so special in the first place. I hope it stays just as unique, but we introduce it to more people. I'm too young to retire. I'm always looking for the next challenge. And being CEO, it's hard to get to the next one. Looking forward to the next big project, how we can help the staff grow, how we can start doing more for our programming. A couple years ago, we started DPC Academy, City Academy. We offer free educational classes to our tourism partners to help them be better marketers and better business people. And that's very exciting to be able to help them and watch them grow and evolve. It's good to see people picking up the torch.
One of my favorite quotes is when one teaches, two learn.
Yeah.
You describe yourself as a nerd.
Yeah.
And that is critical to being successful in the industry. And more importantly, to be the nerd whisperer.
But curious.
Interpret.
Yep.
To translate.
Yes.
The
Into
data.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to ask me?
What is it about tourism? Are there any other industries you are enamored by?
I spent the first 20 years of my career working with experience providers and destinations, helping them identify market, identify products, bring it to market. I thought I loved travel until I did it 130 nights a year and I just wanted to stay home. I thought I loved going out to eat until I realized the value of having 6 friends over for a dinner cooked fresh and by people who know what they're doing. I thought I loved being out in nature and seeing new things and places and a sense of adventure. What I realized, and this happened around 10 years ago, was the fact that I got to learn through each one of those experiences.
Yes.
I narrowed it down to the fact that I love to learn. Tourism is a unique industry that bridges multiple industries. It can unify communities. I say this as a professional traveler, a professional tourist.
Yeah.
The more you talk to people, the more you realize we have in common.
Right.
When I'm the traveler, I'm learning from you about your community, culture, food, history, art, architecture. The host is learning about where the visitor came from. It is a unique industry in that almost everyone involved that loves what they do is a lifelong learner.
I agree.
That's what really draws me to the space I'm in now. We realized about 10 years ago that most of the education industry was pretty terrible. It was somebody trying to sell something and calling themselves a teacher.
I guess pet peeve.
Or
And we had a social media class yesterday where I was like, it's not how many likes you get in 5 minutes. That's not it. It's building a brand. It's making sure that Rising Tide floats all boats, that you find co-hosts, that you find collaborators, being able to talk to the tourism partners and have them understand it. I'll be able to see a marked change. We had somebody from a plumbers in the social media class yesterday. And I was like, that's great. What I realized is we're doing everything wrong.
I think everybody that touches the visitor or the experiences, the projects that are going on in town, the capital improvements that end up affecting the visitor, everybody's involved in that. What's great for the visitor is great for the local. Or
my bucket list, I've been so many places. I go to Machu Picchu next month and I've never been to the Grand Canyon.
wow.
Going to the Grand Canyon this year, come hell or high water.
If folks want to learn more about Panama City,
and they can email me at jennifer@destinationpanamacity.com, peruse our website, or ask us to send information.
thank you. That was a delightful interview. You're quickly becoming one of my friends. I like you.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to Business Class. This episode was brought to you by Learn Tourism, the nonprofit academy where we advance the tourism industry with cutting-edge training and sustainable practices. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to visit learntourism.org to learn more about our programs and how you can get involved. Until next time, stay curious, continue learning and making a difference through tourism.